Just going to go ahead and give it a minute for everyone to get welcomed on in. Good evening. Okay. Good evening, everyone. My name is Sam. I am a WACAC member, and I am just the moderator here tonight. I'm going to go ahead and introduce Jen here in a second, and she's going to get the presentation started. She's got a really awesome one planned for you all tonight, so thank you for joining us. A couple just housekeeping notes real quick. There is going to be a Q&A portion to this, so it's going to be very interactive. So please use that Q&A button at the bottom of your screen to ask questions, and then they're going to go ahead and answer your questions in live time. Your camera and your microphone are going to be off for this, so we can't hear you, we can't see you. That's why that Q&A button is very vital to the success of this presentation. As I'm sure, as you signed up for this, you've seen that we have a bunch of sessions this week and next week. So I encourage you to go online, check things out, see what else you want to sign up for. And if there's something that's really important to you that you can't make, we are recording all of these sessions. So please feel free to go back to wacac.com. Same place you signed up to watch those recording, and they'll be available within a couple of days. So I'm going to go ahead and turn it on over to Jen, and they're going to get started.
All right. Thank you so much. I'm going to just go ahead and share my screen here. Thanks for joining us this evening. My name is Jennifer England, and I am the Senior Associate Director of Admissions at Lawrence University. Sorry, I've already skipped a slide here. And I am so happy that you joined us tonight. We do have 45 minutes together. Just so you know, I will not be talking for 45 minutes. I will give a 5 to 10 minute overview of Lawrence, and then I have 4 special guests with me this evening, 4 current Lawrence students, and they will share a bit about their experience. And at that time, you'll also have a chance to post questions in the Q&A, as Sam mentioned. So the chat feature is not enabled here, so please use the Q&A. And if we do not get to your questions tonight, we will follow up with you in the next week. So with that, I'd like to get started. So what is Lawrence exactly? Lawrence University is a fully undergraduate university made up of a College of Liberal Arts and Sciences, as well as a Conservatory of Music. In our College of Liberal Arts and Sciences, we have about 80% of our students working toward a Bachelor of Arts degree in 42 different areas of study. Our most popular areas include biology, economics, English, pre-med, and psychology. And some of our newest programs like entrepreneurship and innovation, data science, and global studies are quickly joining those ranks. In our conservatory, the other 20% of our students are studying, and they are completing a Bachelor of Music degree in either performance, education, or theory and composition, or some are participating in our newest degree program, which is a Bachelor of Musical Arts, and that has an emphasis on jazz and improvisational studies. About half of those students who are doing a Bachelor of Music degree are taking advantage of a unique program here at Lawrence called our 5-year double degree program. And it allows a student to pursue both a Bachelor of Arts and a Bachelor of Music simultaneously. Lawrence is not just a university, we're a community as well. And we're a community, a living, learning community. Our 1,500 students come from all over the country and around the world, including 25% from right here in Wisconsin. And nearly all of them live on campus in a wide range of options, from traditional residence halls to urban style lofts. With over 170 faculty members, Lawrence has one of the smallest faculty student ratios in the country at 8:1. In fact, 60% of our classes are taught as independent studies or tutorials, where students can work one-on-one or in a very small group with faculty advisors. From the moment you step on campus, you'll be encouraged to try new things, ask important questions, and meet new people. And this all begins with freshman studies, Lawrence's signature academic program, where you'll study a variety of works from art to literature to science. And in this class, you'll learn how the disciplines are interconnected, a skill that will serve you well when faced with complex problems in your life after Lawrence. After freshman studies, you'll continue to explore by taking a core curriculum that will give breadth of experience while also completing a major area of study where you'll gain deep mastery of one subject. You'll have the chance to meet with someone from our Career, Life, and Community Engagement Office to secure an internship, or maybe you'll choose to do research over the summer with one of our alumni who are heading up a major research laboratory. Whatever your path, Our faculty will be here to support you every step of the way. And after you've taken freshman studies and decided on a major and done an internship and many other things, you'll be ready for your Chandler senior experience. This is a project of your own devising and can take many forms, ranging from a music recital to an independent research project, or maybe you want to write a series of short stories. Anything is on the table, and this is your chance to show what you've learned while also doing something that you are passionate about. And while academics are core to the experience of any college, of course, there's so much more to the residential college experience than classes alone. We have 22 Division III varsity sports teams, and 25% of our students are varsity athletes. There are numerous clubs and organizations, including LUCC, which is our student government, the Black Student Union, Outdoor Recreation Club, Fiddle Club, Gaming Club, and many more. Half of our students will also study abroad during their time at Lawrence, and the Lawrence Own London Center is a popular choice. We also offer programs in 50 other locations around the world, including Senegal, West Africa, Milan, Italy, and Tokyo, Japan. Our students are also actively engaged in the Appleton community by volunteering with kids at local schools and other options that you can learn about at our Center for Community Engagement and Social Change. And speaking of the surrounding community, Appleton is a city of 75,000 adjacent to campus. There are a ton of great restaurants here and boutique shops, as well as the Fox Cities Performing Arts Center, which is home to the Fox Valley Symphony and brings in several Broadway shows per year. This year, we were so fortunate to have both Dear Evan Hansen and Hamilton on our list. And for the nature lovers among us, there are several parks close by, as well as a great hiking trail along the Fox River, which borders our campus. And while Appleton is our primary campus, this beautiful picture that you see on the screen is a second campus that we have, and it is called Bjork London. Bjork London is a 440-acre retreat center just 2 hours north of campus in beautiful Bailey's Harbor, and it sits along the Lake Michigan shoreline. Each weekend, groups of Lawrence students, faculty, and staff will head up there for one reason or another, like maybe a musical ensemble is learning a new piece together, we're having a language immersion weekend, or one of our athletics teams is practicing. It's a special place where students and faculty can learn together while surrounded by the comforts and natural beauty of the area. So what, might you ask, happens at the end of all these wonderful experiences that you have at Lawrence? Well, as you can see here, within 6 months of graduation, 73% of our students are employed, 22% are attending graduate or professional school, 4% are actively serving in our military or pursuing academic fellowships, and that leaves only 1% seeking employment. I hope you can tell that Lawrence is a dynamic place with dynamic people. And speaking of dynamic people, I have 4 students with me who I'd like to introduce you to today: Anna, Sean, Nora, and Jack. And I'm going to have them introduce themselves, and we'll be happy to answer questions that you have. Again, as a reminder, put your questions in the Q&A and we will get to them. If we don't get to them all this evening, we will be sure to get to them later. So at this time, Lawrence students, I am gonna stop my screen share here, and I'm going to ask that you unmute your sound and video. And if you could each say your name, where you're from, the year that you are at Lawrence, your major, and extracurricular activities, that would be terrific. And just, I'll kind of call your names out so then we'll know which order to go in. So Nora, why don't you start us off if you don't mind?
Hey everyone, my name's Nora. I'm a rising senior. So weird to say. I'm currently on the track and field team. I'm the president of the Sign Language Club. My major is theater, and my minor is ethnic studies. And I'm from Evanston, Illinois.
Awesome. Jack, why don't you go ahead next?
Sure, thanks. Hi, everyone. My name is Jack Murphy. I will also be a senior this year. I am from Neenah, Wisconsin, which is relatively close to Appleton, and I'm studying music education, primarily choral general music education. And so I'm involved in the choirs here. I've been involved in several opera productions, and I also play in a couple of student bands on campus too, which is a lot of fun. And I also had the opportunity to study abroad as well. Earlier this past academic year in the fall, I was fortunate enough to study in Vienna, Austria for the fall term, which was a really amazing experience. So yeah, Thanks.
Terrific. Thank you, Jack. Sean, how about you?
Hi, I'm Sean. I'm also a rising senior from St. Louis, Missouri. I am a double major in psychology and anthropology with a minor in biomedical ethics. I am in a lot of our social justice and diversity organizations on campus. So that's like Black Student Union, Lawrence University Native Americans, Alianza, which is our Latinx organization, and many others. So that's what I do around campus.
All right, terrific. And Anna?
Hi, my name is Anna. I am a rising junior this year. I am from southern Wisconsin, a little town called Baraboo, and I am double majoring in biology and Russian. And for extracurriculars, I do people for animal welfare. I'm in a sustainable cooking club, and I'm also in Greek life.
Awesome. Thank you very much. So for those of you joining us, please continue to type your questions in the Q&A section, and I will go ahead and direct those to our students. So if we could maybe start with, I guess, Anna, maybe have you start with this one. What was the most challenging thing about transitioning to Lawrence for you?
I think the most difficult thing, I mean, it's so hard because, like, I think the biggest thing is just the fear of the unknown. You know, like, you have no idea anyone on campus, like, you know, except for your roommate, and you don't know where exactly you're going to fit in. But what's so cool about Lawrence is we're such a small community that once you kind of get yourself involved in things, you can pretty quickly find your niche and like where you fit in. But I think honestly, just it wasn't so much the actual transition. I think it was just the fear of finding my place at Lawrence and like if it was going to be a good fit for me and that kind of thing. But I think that the community, like once you get on campus, is a huge help with that because they can all just kind of guide you to the best place for you.
All right, if anyone else would like to jump in, don't everybody feel like you have to answer each, but feel free to jump in if you have something.
Real quick, for me, and some students may also feel like me, my biggest transition was going from a school district that didn't have as much resources, where I kind of had to struggle a term or two my first time when I got to Lawrence, but having adequate resources and then professors and then campus resources to help me get to a point where I actually started thriving on campus. That was something great. So that was a big transition for me, going from a school that didn't have resources to help us to a school that did have those resources to help us.
I have a terrific question that's just come in, but before I get to that, Sean, could you elaborate on what some of those services were at Lawrence that helped with the transition?
Most definitely being able to meet with the Center for Academic Success with writing tutors. I did very great in math, but writing tutors to help me form my papers, make sure everything was up to par. A lot of our classes have like, not TA, like teaching assistants, but have like students who have taken that course and have gotten a very great grade in that course, who come and kind of like tutors the newer students so that they also are able to get things down. That was a resource. Having people who went to better schools than I did, because I did not go to a very great school, but having people who went to better schools than I did who were willing to help me, even though we were taking the same class, getting the same stuff, that was great. Professors' office hours, they're there like maybe two or three times a week. You just walk in and then they'll help you out with that as well. So various other things.
Terrific, thank you. Jack, I'm going to direct this one to you because I think you're the most obvious candidate, but if others want to jump in, the question is, can a student do a double major in the music area along with something that's not music? Does that have to be the 5-year program or can it be done in 4 years?
Good question. I would say I'm just to clarify, so doing a double major within the conservatory, so maybe like performance and like education, and then also something else too outside of the like in the college.
Yeah, what we would traditionally think of, right, as the 5-year double degree. But
yeah, I would say with that, yeah, you're probably going to be looking more towards doing 5 years, just because there will be a lot of classes that you will take with doing 3 majors basically, and then 2 degrees as well. But there are ways to make it work in 4 years if you were maybe doing something in the if you're maybe majoring in two things that are both part of the same degree program. So if you're majoring in performance and education within the conservatory, that could be done in 4 years. You might have to overload sometimes, but if you're doing a double degree, that will likely be 5 years unless you overload every term, which could be tough, but yeah.
Thank you, Jack. I think probably if I'm understanding our new degree program well, the Bachelor of Musical Arts, that's an opportunity if somebody is interested in jazz and improvisational studies to do a 50-50 split essentially in 4 years, 50% in the conservatory, 50%, but that is not for a student who's wanting to do the full classical study with the full training. Yeah, so, okay. Anybody can jump in on this next one, and I know the answer for all of you is yes, but do any of you guys have a job while in college? And if so, do you recommend having one? You want to go, Anna?
Sure. I feel like this is kind of like the boss asking you, like, do you like your job? Because I work in admissions. We all work in admissions, which gives us opportunities to work with prospective students and do student panels and tours, all that kind of stuff. And I really like having a job. I think that at Lawrence, there's such a variety of student jobs that they offer too, that you can find something that you really enjoy doing. I really enjoy working with prospective students, as I think we all do. And the staff at Lawrence is so accommodating to like your class schedules and any exams that come up, that it's really easy to have a job on campus where they'll make sure to cater to your academics and your extracurriculars and stuff too.
Anybody else want to chime in there? Or
Yeah, I don't know if we have any musicians or singers listening in, but another job opportunity that's really popular, especially with vocalists, is getting a church job. A lot of local churches in the area and different worship places just in the Appleton area are usually looking for singers, and they can pay you to come and sing for them on the weekends. It's not limited to just voice majors. We've had singers before who were, in the college too, and just really enjoyed singing, but that's another really great job opportunity as well if you're maybe looking to get paid and still make music as well too.
nice. I'll kind of address a couple of these in a minute. They have to do with like getting into Lawrence and the academic criteria and merit scholarships and whatnot. But Nora, why don't you start us off with an answer to this one, which is for the students, what led you to choose Lawrence, basically?
Cool. All right, so I'm a part of this program called Evanston Scholars, and it was a group where it was for minorities to help us get to college and all this stuff. So we went to a tour to Lawrence, and I went there for, Admitted Students Day. And I remember going there, and I was super excited about it. And all of the community there was just spot on. I just couldn't not see myself there. I did this quick thing where every school I went to, I would put on my backpack and I would walk around just to see if I felt like I was a student there. And lo and behold, I felt like I was a student. There's so much things about Lawrence that just led me to be there. Just the arts, I'm a theater major, so that's the best part of it there, and the conservatory and just the community. I think, the first part is just the community. The community is just amazing. And that's why I chose this school. So, yeah.
I love that you did the backpack thing. That's awesome. I don't know, Anna, maybe you want to jump in next. This is one I think is worth hearing from everybody on.
Yeah, sure. I was also going to say community, because the Lawrence community is really good. We're such a tight-knit, supportive community. But I also think another one of the things that really set me on Lawrence was the fact that I am a biology major, but I wanted to go to a college that had really good science programs and a lot of opportunities for me to do research and be in labs and actively doing science, but that also had good arts programs and stuff too, so that I was a huge theater theater kid in high school, and I was in band and stuff, and I was like, I don't want to go to college and miss out on that. And Lawrence is such the perfect like community for joining a ton of different stuff and still being involved in everything that you loved in high school, even though you may not have time to commit as strongly as you used to. But I still love being able to go to all the concerts and the productions, and so I still get to keep that piece of me while also having a lot of opportunities in the biology department.
That's awesome. Yeah, go ahead, Sean, and then Jack.
All right. What led me to choose Lawrence was I was looking strictly at academics when I was looking at schools. Money was also the second option, but I wanted a school where I could go and take all the classes that I was interested in, and I already knew that I was going to be a double major when I got to Lawrence. So me being in the anthropology department and the psychology department had to be doable for a school that I picked. To the person who asked the question about anthropology, it's a really great program. We have all 4 sections. So archaeology, bio-anth, culture-anth, and I keep forgetting the last one, linguistic. There we go. So it's really great. But most definitely I had to choose a school that was able for me to double major, as well as how Lawrence have a lot of discussion-based classes. So at bigger schools, you're sitting and you're being lectured to all the time. Lawrence, we have a lot of discussion-based classes, whereas you and your classmates sitting and talking and getting through things together. Like sometimes we all try to solve a problem together. So that really pushed me into Lawrence.
Yeah, I would really echo what Sean is saying. I think the academics at Lawrence are so unique. That's a huge reason why I chose Lawrence as well, too. Just the access to faculty members, and especially in the conservatory too. In any field at Lawrence, all of our professors are active scholars themselves. So the fact that you get an opportunity to work so closely with them and get research opportunities like as early as freshman year really helps in terms of, professional development and, thinking about life after Lawrence too, and graduate school, if that's something you're considering, or even just the professional world too. I think getting to work so closely in those sort of discussion-based classes is really helpful. And then, yeah, just the music program too, and just the arts period at Lawrence. It's, I think Nora, Anna, and Sean all highlighted some really amazing things. So I would just agree with really what they were saying. It's a very unique place, especially when it comes to the community and just opportunities to be able to do so many different things. So
awesome. Thanks, you guys. I'm going to cover just a couple of quick things that came in terms of admissions and scholarship and whatnot. So there was one question about, is it challenging to get into Lawrence University? And then there was a question about merit and talent scholarship. So I think to the first point, we're looking for students who are academically prepared to meet the challenges of the university. And we're also looking for students who are going to contribute in the ways that all of these folks have that you're hearing from now, because we are a strong community, and we're only a strong community because of people's active participation. So you can't be that without students participating. So our average student coming in has about a 3.6 GPA. And in terms of test scores, for those of you who are applying this fall potentially, I know the test score situation has gotten very fouled up due to COVID and the inability to take the ACT or SAT. Gratefully, we've been a test optional institution for nearly 15 years. And so we're really accustomed to doing a holistic review of your application. So if you do submit your scores, that's great. You can choose to do that. But if not, you don't really need to worry about that. So we're looking for students who have taken the strongest curriculum that their school offers that they can be successful in. So every school is different. And know that when you apply for admission, we will consider you for merit scholarships, and those are up to half of the cost essentially of Lawrence. So I can, if there are any real specific questions, we can answer those independently after and get in touch with your admissions counselor. But let's see here. I am going to go. Someone asked if the school is expensive. I'll just tackle that right now. So the cost this year was about $60,000. The top merit scholarship is about $30,000. But the average student at Lawrence pays about $25,000 a year. So, and it varies so widely. I mean, I've been doing this for 25 years, so I would encourage you, if you have questions about your own personal situation, reach out to us or fill out the net price calculator on our website. So let's move to, let's see here. What is the diversity like on campus? That is probably next on the list here. So whoever wants to jump in, feel free.
I don't have the new stats. I still have last year's stats because I was working with our diversity and inclusion and access person. So I'm pretty sure I'm gonna round it. It's about international students, about 20, maybe 25. Jen, you can correct. What is it? Is it bigger?
A little lower. That wasn't a thumbs down. That meant lower. It was about 15. That's totally fine.
Okay, well, 15%. And then domestic students of color, 20,
25, depending
25.
on.
Okay, so I kind of had it a little bit flipped. But yeah, but you will have the chance to be with every student from every walk of life. So one of the first things is freshman studies will put you in classes purposefully with people who are different from you. So you will have students who identify as Black, Native American, students who are international students, students who come from different socioeconomic backgrounds. So pretty much any type of student that you could find is probably going to be in your freshman studies class. So you will literally see on a day-to-day basis the diversity that Lawrence has within its campus.
Anybody else want to comment? If not, that's fine. Maybe, Sean, one thing I always think it's interesting to talk to students, you mentioned freshman studies. How do you think having diversity in that class in particular is important? Any of you? I mean, you all took freshman studies. Like, how does that influence the conversation?
So it's already it was like, for my first time, it was very weird reading different types of books, but also it was even more interesting reading those different types of books with different people, because everybody's experience, life stories and experience give a different view of the works that you're reading. So being able to sit in a classroom with 14 other people and the professor, and then you're listening to someone who interpreted this book a different way than what you interpreted, and now you're kind of like seeing how you could connect and compare and contrast y'all experiences with each other, and then you're learning new information about them, they're learning new information about you. It's a really great thing. So freshman studies really points you to different people and different experiences, and that opens you up to the liberal arts thinking.
Awesome.
Yeah. Oh, can I say something? I was just going to say things that you didn't know before, you're able to know now. And I think that's truly a blessing. So.
Nice. That like sums freshman studies up in one sentence. That's awesome. Could one of you talk a little bit about the residence halls and like what they're like, and you know, how does a person go about getting to know people in the halls and stuff like that?
I can go. Yeah, the residence halls, we have, I forget how many freshman residence halls we have, like 6, 7, 6, something like that. Okay, but what's fun about our res halls is they're all really different. Like I remember I was talking with some friends last year and we made a joke of like, tag yourself, which hall are you? Because like they're all so different and fun and they each have their own kind of unique feel in them. Like Ormsby is like the oldest dorm on campus and it has like the wood floors and the high ceilings. But like Coleman is kind of a more modern feel and has really big lounge spaces. And so it, you know, describing each of our dorms would take a long time to like kind of tell you like the energy it has. But all of our dorms are kind of their own individual communities and all of your floors and stuff within the larger Lawrence community. We have CAs, which is like the usual college's RAs, except our CAs stand for community advisors because they are more about creating a community within the residence halls as opposed to just taking care of strictly resident stuff. So they'll hold events like most nights of the week, you know, like pizza parties or movie nights or cookie decorating, you know, just hangouts, study sessions, stuff like that. So that's a great way to get to know people in your hall. And if you're bored any night and you're like, my roommate's gone, what do I do? You can just go down to the lobby of whatever dorm you're in and hang out with your CA, which is really fun. I remember all of my CAs that I've had so far. And I also live in a group house now. So if you spend your first year or two at Lawrence in a dorm and you see a group house that you would like to live in, you can certainly do that too. So it's not always just the 2-person dorm all 4 years. And I live in a group house where we are all about sustainability. So we cook vegan, vegetarian. So like one night a week, I have to cook with a partner for everyone else in the house. And then every other night of the week, I get a home cooked meal, which is sustainable, local bought, that kind of stuff. And all of our group houses are theme based. So we have a gaming house, which gaming club members can live in. We have art house, which is for, you know, fine arts interests and stuff like that. So there's kind of somewhere to live for everybody is kind of my long-winded point.
Another aspect that we've now really starting to include with the residence halls in particular is that almost all of our residence halls now have a gender neutral floor as well too. Because Lawrence is a residential campus, you know, we have a lot of students coming from, you know, very different backgrounds, have different identities. We want to make sure that everyone feels comfortable in where they're living. So campus life really kind of, they oversee the dorms and are really kind of the ones that make sure that everybody is sort of in a place where they feel safe. And, you know, especially because it's, you know, a private space, we want to make sure that we're honoring every student's needs and sort of where they're comfortable in living. So most of our dorms now, I don't know if all of them do, but I think most of them have a floor that is gender neutral. Otherwise, the floors, and again, I'm speaking about the residence hall specifically, it's usually like an all-male floor, all-female floor. There's not usually like a freshman-only dorm either. All grade levels live in the dorms. The only students that do not have to live on campus are fifth years. A lot of our fifth years choose to live maybe in an apartment near campus, and then our non-traditional students as well too. So students who might be married or things like that. But otherwise, that sort of residential campus feel is really, you know, we've all kind of talked a little bit about how special the community at Lawrence is, and I think having everyone live on campus during your time there is really what makes that community so strong, because you're all kind of there together. Of course, going to look different this year because of COVID, but in a normal year, that's usually what it's like.
Hey, Nora, could you talk a little bit about what it's like to be a student athlete and how you decide to do that and balancing time and all those things?
Yeah, sure. I love being on the track team. It's really nice. It's very easy to do. My schedule is very flexible around it because we have track at 4:45 p.m. Every night. So I usually would tend to have my classes, knock them out in the morning, and then go straight to track. It's pretty nice. You create like a family. I don't know if you've ever been in a sport, but you're with them 24/7. So it's easy for you to create friends. And our workouts our workouts are super hard. They're really hard. But at the end, you're like, oh, well, I did it. And we also compete. So we have a fall season, we have a winter season, and we have a spring season. But we only compete winter and spring. So that's when we have our meets and stuff. And then fall term is when we train. So it's pretty great being on the track team. It's not too much. It's not too bad. We're all busy at Lawrence, so just adding being an athlete on it doesn't really do that much. But yeah.
Thanks. That's awesome. Somebody is asking about cars on campus. So I think the question probably is twofold, which is, do you recommend bringing a car to campus? And I think also, like, do you need one, you know?
Okay. Well, if you bring a car, you could so we have downtown Appleton, which it's easy. You can walk there. It's really easy to walk. But there are some places that you might want to go to that is a drive away. So there's no shame of bringing your car. If you just want to like go out and take a drive, like we have the hockey rink. So if you want to go and watch hockey, you can drive there. But there are places that you will need to use your car to drive, but personally, I don't have a car. I don't know how to drive. I'm sorry, I don't. So that's why I don't have my car. But yeah, I mean, it's up to you. If you can bring one, you don't have to bring one. It depends. I don't know about you guys. My friends drive me all the time places. So like, I just have them do it. That's just me.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's like if you don't bring your car, that won't really be a problem because someone you know probably will have a car because like campus is pretty small. And so like I brought my car last year, but like I didn't need it really ever. And there are shuttles who go to the grocery stores and to the athletic events too. So you don't need it, but if you feel like you're gonna go places a lot, then maybe.
Yeah. I don't have a license nor a car, but I often leave campus a lot. So downtown Appleton is literally right as soon as you cross the street off of Lawrence, you're in downtown Appleton. But I like to venture off to Walmart and then the movies and then everywhere else that's not around Lawrence. And then we have the shuttle program where the campus shuttle takes people to like Walgreens or Whole Foods. Well, it's a different thing, but basically like a Whole Foods and the mall, as well as they have the enterprise car share where you can rent a car that's already on campus and take that out. We have a ride share group chat where people who are going different places, you can just say, hey, if you're going in the Appleton area, if you're going back home to Chicago or you're passing this area, that area, can I just hop in the car with you, pay for gas, snacks, or whatever that, you decide on. So those things are options, as well as they have a kind of decent busing. It takes a long time to get places, but you get there.
That's funny. All right, so we have, let's see here, it's 7:38 and we have a hard stop at 7:45. So we do have definitely have time for a couple more questions. One that I want to ask is about like your favorite traditions at Lawrence, because I think it's fun for people to hear about that sort of thing. So I don't know if maybe Jack, you want to start or?
Yeah, I have a lot of favorite campus traditions. One of my favorites, though, is for sure LURU. That is our music festival. It's a student-run music festival that happens every Memorial Day weekend. So it's one of the last weeks of our spring term because we're on the trimester system. So we have a fall, winter, and a spring term. And it's so much fun. There's a lot of campus groups that play. We've had a lot of artists come in from like Chicago area, Twin Cities, and it's 2 days. And because we don't have classes on Memorial Day, then you can just relax on Memorial Day because it's that Saturday and Sunday. But yeah, we've had like food trucks there, and everybody's out kind of by a lot of our group houses. We have something called the Quad, which is this big lawn space, and it's just so much fun. It was really a bummer that it didn't happen this year, unfortunately, but that is definitely something I look forward to every year. Another big one is sledding down Slug Hill as well too every winter. We try to make the most of the cold months. And there were a group of students this past year who took like a chair like from a living room or something like that, and they put skis underneath it and like went down the hill.
I remember that because it totally failed. Like they just sent it down the hill first and it just like tumbled over 1,000 times. I'm like, I'm glad you guys did that first. Like,
yeah, it was wild. Anyways, those are some of my favorites.
Nice.
Okay, so think of this, the President's Ball, right? So you get to dress up and it's literally you get to dress up for just like one night. Everyone's wearing their best gowns, their best suits or whatever. And you just have a great time. We have this like live band that comes and plays, and they play all the classics up to our favorite song, YMCA. Every time they do it, and they do it well, and I'm so proud. But yeah, that's one of my favorite traditions, and it's called the President's Ball. I really don't know why. I think because it's Mark. He invites us to it, so yeah.
Who's Mark?
Oh, right. Mark Burstein is our president of Lawrence University. We're on first name basis. I just want to let you know that, me and Mark. So
yeah, that is true. And that's why I wanted you to say who he was, because I figured that was important.
Yes.
All right, and our Sean, favorite traditions?
My favorite tradition it's supposed to be, it's a surprise to first years, but it has to do with the environment in Main Hall Green, which is presently behind Jen. that is one of my favorite traditions, as well as the senior surprise traditions that happen later on in spring.
All right, we have 2 surprise traditions. Okay, excellent. Anna, hey, it's intriguing.
I think one of my favorite things is I really like the Convocation series at Lawrence. Because you guys stole my favorite, like, super fun traditions, but I really, like, academically, one of my favorite traditions is Convocation. Basically, like, is it once a term now, I think? We'll have speakers from, like, various disciplines come and talk to Lawrence students and kind of the general community about basically their life's work. And they have, like, from everywhere. Like, we had Batika Wilbur my freshman year, come and talk about, like, changing the way we see Native America. And she was a great speaker. I listened to Phil Plait talk about, like, is the Earth special compared to other planets? And, like, it's super intriguing to hear about, like I'm not an astronomist, you know, and I'm not a part of, like, our Native American club. And, like, it was really cool to hear about, you know, all these different angles on topics that I haven't explored myself. And I go every term. It's really fascinating.
That's awesome. Thanks, you guys, so much. I'm gonna, I think, probably pause us here because it's 7:42, and I want to be able to share a screen with our guests to show them some links that they can go to if they'd like to learn more. We do also have a virtual open house coming up this Thursday, where our focus will actually be on campus and student life, and we'll be hearing from a lot of different people. So if you have an interest in that, I would encourage you to do that as well. Thank you so much to our students and to those folks who joined us tonight. I'm going to just go ahead and, whoops, there we go. The top link here is the one that you would go to if you want to find out about the open house. So, and if you, again, if we did not get to your questions in the chat, I will go ahead and follow up individually with people sometime yet this week. So Sam, I'm not sure if you're still there or if this is a good ending point, but.
Yeah, we'll go ahead. I won't pull up my screen for the students. I just wanted to thank you as our moderator. And there will be a quick 4-question survey when we do close out. So please answer that. Like I mentioned, there are more sessions, so please sign up for those. And if you have any questions on anything else, Jen should have your information, so she'll be reaching out to you. But thank you so much for spending your evening with us. I hope you got to learn a lot more about Lawrence, and have a great night. Bye all.
Thank you. Take care.